जगत्कारणं वन्दे पन्नगभूषणं शशिधरं वन्दे पशूनां पतिं वन्दे सूर्यशशाङ्क वह्निनयनं वन्दे मुकुन्दप्रियं वन्दे भक्तजन आश्रयं च वरदं वन्दे भक्तजन आश्रयं च वरदं वन्दे शिवं शङ्करम्. Friends, the sun god is self-luminous, Swayam Prakasha. He does not require another planet to illumine him. He is self-luminous. Surya is Swayam Prakasha. Whereas the moon requires light from the sun. Sri Krishna is self-luminous. Swami Vivekananda at the Parliament of Religions is unique. He is bright. He is able to attract everybody's attention. He is able to command everybody's respect. Similarly, a yogi is self-luminous. A yogi is of Tejas. A yogi is of spiritual sublimity, spiritual splendor, spiritual grandeur, spiritual brightness. We find in his face an aura of spirituality. When you see the divine pictures, you find a circle of brightness behind the head, and that is called aura, A-U-R-A. There is that spiritual brightness associated with the divine beings. Sun god is self-luminous. So also a yogi is very bright on his own accord. That brightness, that spiritual brightness in Sanskrit is called Tejas, Brahma Tejas. There are two more similar words in Sanskrit. One is Vachas. The second is Ojas. The third, the best, the highest, the unique, the supreme is Tejas. Vachas, a person gets on account of physical perfection. When a person is very handsome, when a girl is very beautiful, when she or he has the perfect physical structure because of good diet, good yogic exercises, and regular observance of pranayama, there is a particular formation, and that physical perfection is called Vachas. The slim body, smart body, handsome features, beautiful features, irresistible personality, captivating charm, bewitching beauty. This physical attraction is Vachas. When we describe the beauty of a girl, when we describe the handsome features of a man, the people sitting in front of me may have their own matinee idol. Yes, he is my man. Yes, she is my lady. Whatever this person is describing, that beauty can be found in him or in her. That charm can be found in him or in her. And naturally, many people's minds may go to their respective heroes or heroines on the screen. I like that girl, sir. I like that young boy, sir. Then, when a person raises the next question, my dear girl, you love that young man, that celluloid person, hero. I shall arrange a marriage of yours with him. Do you get married to him? Chichi, who will marry him, sir? When I asked that boy, you like that girl very much? Yes, sir. You love her? Yes, sir. Shall I arrange your marriage? Chichi, who will marry her, sir? Virtuous is his physical structure. It is no doubt handsome, beautiful, attractive. It gives the slimness, smartness. It gives the physical charm, beauty. But there is another personality. Physical personality is not all in all. We are not happy with the physical structure. No girl is willing to marry a boy who is physically handsome. No boy is ready to marry a girl who is physically very beautiful. Something else is expected. Why do you not marry him? Why do you not marry her? When we ask, Chichi, she has no character. He has no character. She is not a virgin. He is not a virgin. She has no purity. He has no purity. She is not sincere, faithful. She does not have character. He does not. How do you say so? I saw her yesterday in the lodging house with somebody. I saw that idiot talking to another girl near the theater, sitting by her side. How can I marry that fellow who has many girlfriends? Who knows whether he is really indifferent to them or indulgent with them? I do not want him. I do not want her. When it's a question of owning, when it's a question of becoming a life partner, when it is going to be a husband or wife, our choice is better, greater, more unique, and virtuous is not sufficient. We go for the higher personality, greater personality, inner personality, and that is Ojas. Ojas is character. Ojas is character obtained on account of spiritual glow or brahmacharya. Mahatma Gandhi had that Ojas when he experimented with brahmacharya, when he purified himself, when he was a celibate for several years. He was being taken to the court of law on account of his Ojas, on account of his character, on account of his moral supremacy. The first person to stand with folded hands and offer pranams to the accused Gandhi was the British judge. A puny person with the character is able to make the foreigner fall at his feet. It is because of his character. Swami Vivekananda had that physical charm. When he was walking in the streets of Chicago, everybody had a second look at him because of his wonderful physical personality. He was a person of virtues. When Sri Ramachandra Prabhu was walking in the streets of Mithila Nagar, when he was to attend the Swayamvara of Sita, not a single person stayed indoors. Ajanubahum Aravindadalayataksram. Long hands, wide eyes, broad shoulders, tall personality, blue complexion, a resting figure. When Sri Rama was walking in the streets of Mithila, everybody was drawn to him. That was virtuous. When Sri Krishna, as a young boy of 16, came to Mathura Nagar at the time of Kamsa's Dhanuryaga, not a single person stayed indoors. Everybody was in streets to look at his magnificent, majestic personality, virtuous. And the second dimension is that purity. When Ramchandra Prabhu was seen breaking that bow, it was his Ojas that came into practice. Not only his virtues, his purity of character. When Sri Krishna was about to kill Kamsa, it was the purity of his character and spiritual sublimity that came to his rescue, and he was able to be successful. When Swami Vivekananda was in the house of Miss Sanborn, it was his purity of character that attracted everybody's attention. The second step is most important. Physical perfection is not the goal of life. A person may be physically robust, strong, slim, smart, enticing, bewitching, attractive, irresistible, everything he may have. But nobody would like to talk to him, marry him, be with him. What we need is a character. We want to love a person who has a character, whether it's man or woman. And that characterlessness is the worst quality. That character is a precious commodity. That character is expected, and that is indicated by the word ojas. Vajas is physical, ojas is of character, virginity. Character is common whether it is a boy or a girl. That purity of the mind, purity of the body, both are to be retained. It is that purity that gives the special, unique place to a person in society. That alone is not sufficient. Then we go to the higher level, and that is tejas. Unless you have the practice of the physical structure, we may not be inclined to have that purity of character. Sometimes even the physical structure may not be of attraction. There is that purity of character. In the case of Mahatma Gandhi, it is purity of character. Swami Vivekananda, Sri Ramachandra Prabhu, Sri Krishna, they are unique personalities. They have all the three levels, vajas, ojas and tejas. And that tejas is a fruit of our spiritual practices. It is on account of this tejas only, on the 11th of September 1893, Swami Vivekananda was able to be applauded by everybody when he addressed the gathering, sisters and brothers. That address itself is the expression of spiritual sublimity. When a person reaches the heights in spirituality, he finds everybody to be a sister or brother. That is universal brotherhood. In Bhagavad Gita, Advesta Sarva Bhutanam Maitraha Karunayevacha Nirmamo Nirahankaraha. There is no mamakara, there is no hankara, there is no dvesha. Tejasvinavadhitamastu Sahanavavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavava. Tejasvinavadhitamastu, the highest is that tejas, spiritual sublimity. When Swami Vivekananda addressed the gathering, sisters and brothers of America, everybody was thrilled by his spiritual glow, spiritual splendor, and that spirituality embraces all in one brotherhood, and that is called Vasudhaika Kutumbakam. This land is the land of yogis. Yogis are of perfect character. Yogis have that spiritual glow shining in them, and Vivekananda is the immediate excellent example. His success is because of his spirituality. If you find Sri Ramachandra Prabhu, when Ravana came on the last day, Sri Ram simply looked at him and said, "Oh, Hunkara he made." That Hunkara is the fruit of his spiritual quintessence, essence, and that alone conquered him. Brahma Tejas. When Vishwamitra went with all his forces to vanquish Vasistha, Vasistha simply looked at him and made Hunkara. Vishwamitra was vanquished. India is able to govern the entire world on account of its spirituality. That spiritual tejas is the very birthright of every individual. That is the beacon light of India. If many people are coming to India, it is because of our spirituality. And we should never forget about it. Vajas we may develop, ojas we have to develop, because ojas is the precondition for tejas. Sri Krishna Paramatma, as a messenger of the Pandavas came to Hastinapur. He sent his message, my dear Duryodhan, Monday morning, 10 o'clock, I shall be with you to deliver the message of Dharmaraj. I am a messenger of the Pandavas. Duryodhana convened immediately an emergency meeting of all his subjects, ministers and important citizens. Sunday evening. My dear friends, ministers, citizens, tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock that Krishna is coming to address us. Deliver the message of the Pandavas. When he comes to Hastinapur, when he comes to the Darbar hall, court hall of the Kuru princess, nobody should stand and respect him. We must humiliate him, insult him. Nobody should stand and show respect to him. That was the order given by Duryodhana a day in advance. Everybody nodded the head. If anybody deviates from the dictum, his head will be removed. Punishment was also announced. Monday morning, 10 o'clock, the Darbar hall was full. There were more than 10,000 people, ministers, subjects, and the important citizens. There was absolute silence. Sri Krishna at the appointed time entered the hall from the back, from the last entrance. There were two sentinels, and those two dropped their weapons unconsciously, fell at the feet of Sri Krishna, offering their respects. Next two people stood up, next two people. When Sri Krishna was walking in the aisle to come to the stage, all people stood with respect. All people offered their pranams. 9,999 people were standing with the folded hands. The only man sitting was Duryodhana. He looked at everybody. He cannot afford to kill all the people, and he felt so sorry. I am the odd man out. He too stood up with folded hands and offered pranams to Sri Krishna, and that is Tejas. A man of spiritual splendor does not demand respect, does not buy respect. A man of spiritual splendor commands respect. There is a lot of difference between commanding the respect and demanding the respect. And a man of spirituality. Now, this land is known for spiritual giants like Vasishtha, Vamadeva, Narada. All these great giants of spiritual glow have been behind us, blessing us. We have, by the grace of God Almighty, come to Prashanti Kutir to develop that Tejas. Let us observe the other precondition, Ojas. Vachas we will get through our exercises. Physical smartness and slimness we may get by performing the exercises and observing pranayama. But Ojas is something more. We have to be virgins, we have to be celibates, we have to be pure at heart and body, and that is character. Character makes a mark, and that Ojas is the precondition to make us people of spiritual glow, and that Tejas. Yogeshwara Sri Krishna is supposed to have that Tejas, and in the recent past Swami Vivekananda has that glow. May we now meditate on the yogis of Tejas so that we too can become yogis with Tejas.